Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Power Media, in case you didn't know. Yeah, we about to get it on right here, right now. Welcome out as we celebrate once again this Women's History Month. And we're going to bring you that history. We're going to bring you that news. We're going to bring you that music. We're going to bring you that everything right here. So let's do it. I can't do it by myself. I got to bring my super friends along. We got no other than Dr. Jared Ball. And burn it down, Kim Brown.
When the MCs came to live out the name, wow, to perform, go hard and act insane, snort cocaine. I'm sorry. Good morning.
I see you on your Jizza Wu-Tang right this morning.
I don't even know the words.
I didn't even know you was gonna make it here this morning because you had a late interview last night with Piper.
Woo, we was hanging out last night. It was the Auntie Collective, Big Up Piper Carter podcast, Beyond Breaking Barriers. Shut up, mind your business. Don't you be commenting on grown folks' business. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to everyone that came out and hung out with us last night. I really enjoyed myself, and hopefully we will be on screen again soon, maybe even tomorrow.
Nice. Dr. Ball, what's good? How was your weekend?
It was great. Good to see everybody. Peace to everybody. Just looking something up for the story later. But
that's right.
Yeah,
Erica,
it was great.
Erica didn't lace us with stories this week. She got some homework and stuff to do, so she couldn't. No, she's on spring break, I think.
She's on spring break. Let that lady relax. Let black women kick up their feet. Let's not make it so black women have to labor all the time.
That means we actually have to do some work.
And we do.
As you see Jerry's doing some work right now.
That is
so
I had a go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you saying?
Nothing.
All right. So, other than that, I had a good weekend since y'all asked.
How was your weekend, Ear Doctor?
It was cool. Didn't do a whole lot, but I did the Black Man Lab, as you can see the shirt here. And we had the discussion on relationships and how men treat and approach women. So that was something that was pretty good and powerful. I think the biggest thing we got out of it is you have to love yourself before you can love others.
Right.
Yeah.
But what are we teaching the young men about rejection?
Oh, we didn't get all the way into that because it's only like less than an hour. So we're gonna do different. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do different series on it. But last night was different people have relationships. Some divorced, like the panel. Some was divorced. Some been married for a while. And then, single people and this, that, and the third. So it was conversation with them. But I think the biggest thing, like one of the youth came out and he told his mom, he was like, I got to love myself before I love others. And then understand what love really is. Having a consciousness to, treat myself a certain way. Like I would want to be treated. Therefore, I would treat others that way. So I think that was pretty powerful for that youth. I'm glad he picked that up. So. Other than that, regular weekend.
That's good.
All right. So, anything else going on, y'all?
I'm trying to stifle a sneeze. So, as you were.
I'm trying to send this. So I can't share anything. So I emailed you something, Ear Doctor, if you could pull that up at some point.
All right, got you.
I haven't even had a chance to listen to it. So, dang, I don't even actually remember what happened this weekend. What happened this weekend?
When you get over certain.
So we had a good day with Saturdays. That's right, with Renee, and then what even happened on Sunday? Oh, my work study circle with the AAPRP. That was dope. That was very dope.
Now, what is that?
So just as a member of the All African People's Revolutionary Party, we have meetings. We have I'm in a work study circle where we basically study, and we're reading Gender Epistemologies, a collection of essays about gender in throughout the African continent historically today, or at least up until the point the book was written about 20 years ago, I think. And so we read an interesting chapter on the impact of colonization on spatial arrangements and the impact of architecture on family, and how everything is designed to put people in a spatial arrangement in service of capital. And then what impact does that have on African family, and specifically African women who are shown to be the most negatively impacted by these arrangements? So that was interesting.
So what did you come out with after that? Like, what did you learn?
That we need to have a revolution where Africa is reorganized under a United States of Africa and scientific socialism. No, but the point, so like one of the things, I actually struggled with the chapter, to be honest, because I thought that the chapter didn't do enough to clarify its broader argument that was laid out theoretically, involving feminism, womanism, anti-colonialism, a focus on African family. So I just thought it could have been better to like even show diagrams of how this is how a family or a community should structure its living arrangements and its households to be better, communal, more communal, etc. And yet this is how we're forced to live. So now, so like I thought of the report that came out a year or two ago about how China reduced its extreme poverty. And one of the ways I remember that they said they did it was just simply making it possible for people to live closer to where they work and live closer or in better proximity or with the elders they're caring for. And just making that adjustment alone, drawing down the time it takes people to get to work, the cost it takes people to get to work, the physical, emotional impact it takes to get to and from work, has just improved the conditions and made everything a little bit better materially. So
did you bring that with that information? How does that like help your family? Like, do you have family meetings and stuff like that, like to get your family working less American like?
No. So like that was one of the ways I was struggling with the chapter, how to make the theoretical practical. And the most communal thing we do is we have, for the most part, dinner every evening, and everybody takes a moment to share about their day, and we, no
screens,
no, a whole bunch of eye contact. You know what I mean? It's just.
I bet who has family meetings on a regular? Come out, okay, Franklin.
I don't believe in that.
You don't believe in that?
I didn't think Kamal believed in family meetings. He'll see him when he see him.
He's a dictator.
Give him
quick instructions.
Wait a minute. I got the wrong person as the dictator. My bad.
Yeah. My wife likes to do the family. Like, I never heard of those before. I started watching the Brady Bunch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like I didn't know what that was. My mom would just walk in the room and tell you, this is what's happening, and this is what's not happening.
Yeah.
And these are the consequences. I mean, that might be a family meeting, but I've never been like, kids, come on down. Let's gather at the table and have this discussion.
What are your thoughts?
I had notes.
How does that work? I am
milk
totally
is in the refrigerator.
About
catch the bus.
Oh, word.
Y'all came up under different, everybody was raised different. The married gentleman on screen, y'all were raised different than your wives, right? Like different family structure.
Oh, definitely.
Different family arrangements. Like, so how did that work? Like, y'all walk into normalcy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just follow instruction. That's what I did.
I'm not dissing,
kicking and screaming, but learning as I go. Learning as I go. Like, what?
Oh, I was more willing than you, Kamal. I just point me where I need to go. Show me the instructions. Just watch and learn.
Because all three of y'all didn't have fathers in the household.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're in a situation where you have a whole family structure, and now it's like, okay, I could do it this way now. Are you looking at it like that?
Interesting.
I had to get used to family. Like even like my wife likes us all to have dinner together. Again, likes us to have like dinner together. And I was just like, what? I can't just grab my food and go to the TV, or everybody grab your food and go to your own room. Like I had to learn all that. Like you know.
Wow.
So
yeah, me too.
dinner parties, whatever the fuck that was. I was like, what? You gotta put those on? What?
People come over.
Yeah, was trying to class you up out here, Kamal.
No, she really no. It's been you know, it's like an experience. It's a great life experience to learn. You know, again, as I get old, I just want to be shoved in a room and left alone. That's my ultimate goal.
Amen.
That's my ultimate goal.
It's been like that for you for a while, Jared. It seems like you've been.
But I had to learn how to. I can't close doors anymore. Like you got like
what?
My wife don't want open like closed doors. Doors got to be open. People popping over without heads up and notice. Like I'm totally. I had to learn a lot. I had to go through a lot of make a lot of adjustments.
I remember my sister slammed the door one time. My dad took the door off the hinges and was like, "Slam it now." My dad was in the military. He's Air Force dude. He was.
No, but that's old school parenting.
That's old school. That's been the threat in this house. Yeah. Don't close
I know,
it. Don't
exactly.
slam it.
Y'all just threaten.
We just threaten. I'm not taking nothing off the hinges. My wife looking at me. You don't know how to work no screwdrivers. Stop playing.
I can see Jared now. Keep it up. I'm gonna take that off the hinges.
Now I would knock it off the hinges. It won't be no door. We need a new door. That would be my method. But the whole thing of nicely unhinging it and making it reusable, I wouldn't be able to do all that.
Kim, would you say your mom played both roles definitely in your house?
She had to.
Right?
Was she a disciplinarian?
I got hit a little bit. My mother would tell you she should have hit me more, right? But you know, my spankings were so infrequent that I remember them very clearly, right? So, but I've wondered about this. Like, so having absent father, right, in growing up, like I would think as men, all y'all would have to do is just not be that. But for an abandoned girl child, right, it's harder to not pick your father. Does that make sense?
In relationships, as in dealing with people.
Yeah.
Did
that make sense? Did y'all follow me? What I said there? Like, y'all are just
think
not.
So.
Y'all having been raised in a deadbeat dad situation, and now you are dad, right? So all you have to do is just not be deadbeat dad, right? Like it's probably not that simple. We
have a role model to look at and be like, all right, we ain't gonna be that.
But you got to decide if you were going to have kids to make sure you're not picking some man who might also be a deadbeat.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. It scared me barren.
I get it, because I'm like, how do you even figure that out? Like, all right, this is the right guy, and he's not gonna be like that.
Woo!
I mean, I think a lot of us learn on the process of just being conscious enough to want to be like a father, want to be a husband, and stuff like that. It's like I don't think we already got it. So.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of kicked in. It was like, I'm going to have kids. I got to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it otherwise. It was just kind of like, and again, I just felt like that was, I mean, I got to, you know what I mean? It was, and which I think for most people is true. I assume is like, you know, it's your kids. You got to take care of your kids. I'm always, I'm not say surprised, but when I hear stories about, but I hear sad stories too about folks, you know, bad relationships. They can't see their kids. People have said everything, you know. So it's a lot goes on around that. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I had both my parents in the house and just lost them in my teens. So therefore, I didn't have anybody to talk to later as to get information on how to adult. So I had to figure all this adulting stuff on my own. But to have them there as a foundation, I I couldn't imagine not having them as a foundation. Like,
so can I ask, like, after your parents passed, did you live with other family, or you were on your own, or?
I was on my own. I was in college.
Okay,
So yeah, I
when the
was in,
oldest one passed.
yeah,
So,
well,
yeah.
yeah, 15 my mom passed, and then 18 when my pop passed. So
Oh, so
yeah, so therefore I was in college just trying to figure everything out, and my whole thing was survival mode. It was like how do I pay bills? How do I continue to go to college since I made my mom a promise? I was like, yeah, I'll graduate from college. So
Your doctor. Look at
oh, don't do
you.
that. Don't
I'm
do that.
sorry, but you kept your promise.
Yeah, I did.
Beautiful.
My pops always said, you start something, you finish it.
Mhm.
Point blank. So
I mean, did he keep his whole promise? You know,
Well,
she might be looking down, being like, "Did you?" She might be doing the same thing right now.
what she said, Morris Brown?
Well, you went to 13th grade, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness, that's nice. I like
This
that.
old
Honestly,
Florida
I was
ass
waiting.
nigga.
I was wondering. I was watching. I was
Y'all
like, is Kamau
disrespectful,
really going to
Morris
let
Brown.
this after school special go untouched? I was like, he's not going to let this go. This
Oh my
ain't
goodness.
no
It's
chance.
jealousy.
Too
It's
much love in the
jealousy.
room. Too much
Yeah,
love.
that's what it is. They wish they went to a school like Morris Brown. I get it. You know?
I'm jealous that you was a mom and dad ass nigga. I'm like, what is that like? You know what I'm saying? When you have your mother and your father in the
Yeah.
I
house.
used to
Whoa.
hate.
You
Ooh, I
hate
used
kids
to
that
hate
have
them
mamas?
kids. Oh my God, I used to hate them. Would never admit it, but I was hating. You got both your parents.
Yeah, I get
Mama
it.
You little mother.
I get it.
Looking at people's fathers like, what you doing being a good father to him?
And then I'm looking at my homeboy who only got a grandmom around, and he get to go run and do any and everything. Don't got to come home anytime. I'm like, man, you get
Can't
all
catch
this
him.
freedom.
They can't catch them. That's why they can't catch them.
The
Yeah.
grandparents, right?
They got
But-
mad freedom. What you say, Kim?
But I bet you ended up better than that person, than that friend. Yeah.
Oh, he did go to jail. But
Oh, damn.
I mean,
actually, the person that went to jail was my brother. So my parents wound up adopting him because they seen his situation, and and he wound up coming back to Trenton, getting in trouble, and next thing you know, locked up.
damn,
So-
your parents sound like good folks out here.
Oh, my
Air
parents
Doctor.
had foster. They had foster kids running through the house. They just
Oh wow.
they did stuff for the community. So yeah, I gotta represent. So that's why, even though yes, I'm a DJ, I love my people and I always want to work for my people. So that's why you see me here on Black Power Media.
That's what DJs do. DJs bring people together, especially black people. So don't say, yeah, I'm a DJ. Nigga, you a DJ. That's a big deal in my community.
Yeah, but people wonder like, what is you doing with Black Power Media? You know what I mean? Like, but they don't know the work I've been doing all through these years.
I was like, do you get that a lot? Do people do that to you?
I mean, they just be like, okay, you DJ, you on Black Power Media? Yeah, actually, I am. But people that know me know I've been putting in work for a long time. So
Yeah, Black Man Lab. I think people don't even understand the work, how important the work that y'all do is, and how like even from what I've seen, like I haven't been there personally, but all the things that I've seen, the folks that I know who are involved, this is like a real program. Like there's like dozens, literally. I think at times I've seen pictures like hundreds of kids.
Yeah.
So it really has impact in Atlanta. Again, it's something that people like. I don't want to call it a hidden gem, but it is something that people don't see when folks have that kind of interaction, particularly with young Black brothers, on a daily basis. And people talk about what we do in our community. Yeah, all the organizing shit I do, like it's one thing, but y'all are touching people literally, like in numbers that I wish we could, or that we should be also trying to reach or do. And I don't think people take, because it's not infused with the claim of overthrowing this or whatever. It's such solid community work that people sometimes don't want to acknowledge it or the importance of it, but it's extremely, extremely, extremely important. So
you sound like you was about to cry, man. I appreciate
yeah,
that.
I wasn't doing that.
His voice thick with emotion. His Kamau.
That was morning voice. That's morning
That's
voice.
what
See,
it
it's
was.
still there. It's still there. I haven't even had my coffee.
The fact that I was able to have a father, 2 parents in the household, I want to be able to, since I had it, I want to be able to give, be able to push it forward. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
I can feel the hate raising right now. I'm hating on you right now. I can feel it. And you know how I know it's true? I ran into an old buddy of mine, like I hadn't seen him since we were kids. And he was like, how your parents? I was like, my father's not here. My mother's, also. He said, I said, how your parents? He said, oh, they doing great. And I was just like, you little mother.
You were like it was a brag.
50 years old. I was still the same, had the same reaction. With your little happy parents and 2 parents and everybody's still happy. And I was like, how dare you?
That's what I call them. I call them mom and dad ass niggas. Like this mom and dad ass nigga.
But here's the other side to that. Here's the other side to that. My sister said my parents was always arguing, like at each other. So my dad worked all the time. He had a laundromat. He was a principal. He had real estate. So he was never home. So you never even seen them arguing because he was never home. She was a teacher, administrator. So she come home, do her thing. And you never seen them like getting together and like loving on each other. So I never really seen a bunch of that. So I had to go find love in these streets. Ain't that usually what happened, Kim? Like when you ain't got a man around in the house, you got to go find love in the streets.
How's it come back to me? Jared and Kamau sitting right there. I'm sorry, you think Jared and Kamau wasn't out here in these streets
looking for nub in all the wrong places?
Oh my God,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't expect that one. That was bad.
Oh my goodness, what do we know, man? Listen, thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Remix Morning Show. I guess we can take our first break. We are like, damn, how many minutes in we in? 30 minutes in. This is what it is. You never know what you're going to get in a Remix Morning Show, especially since Erica's not around to give us news. So this is it. All right, so let's go ahead and take our first break right here on no other than the Remix Morning Show. All right. What's good? Put my lifetime in between the paper's lines. Y'all know what it is. All right, this is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Air Doc. Thank y'all for tuning in and showing up and showing out like y'all always do. All right, so there's a like button around here. Go, you see it, you find it, push it. All right, and also if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. And yeah, become a member, support. You can also do it right here in the chat room, and we very much appreciate it. So what it is, let me go ahead and get to the weather report, since y'all know that's what I do. I give y'all the weather. So with that said, let me do a quick change up. Bam! Let's do it like that. Let's take you around the world and find out what this weather look like. All right, first let's start in ATL. ATL, they got a high today of 69 degrees. 69. All right. And in Brooklyn, DC, they got a high of 69. It's a lot of love going around. 69 here, 69 there. Next, let's take it to Chicago. They got a high of 63 degrees. And down in Houston, 75 degrees. Nice and humid and warm. Oakland, breezy out there. You know, they got a big ocean out there. It's 61 degrees. And next, let's take it, speaking of oceans, let's take it to St. Kitts. St. Kitts, they got a high of 79 degrees. Nice and warm place to go and relax and chill. And last but not least, the motherland, no other land, Morocco, right here. You see that? Look at that. Morocco right there, 71 degrees. That's pretty cool. But I tell you else, a person that was pretty cool. Let's talk about a sister that goes by the name of Boss. We actually just lost this sister. She just made her transition. I talked about her before. She was out of Detroit, and then she put out an album, wound up moving out west, got signed by Russell Simmons, one of the first sisters to be signed with Def Jam. And she put out an album, and the name of the album was Born Gangsta. The thing is, she also told people, like, I'm a middle-class person, but, you know, sometimes you got to say certain things to be picked up and get a record deal, which made her into a gangster. She had retinal disease. And later on, she had GoFundMe to raise money for the procedure to be done. And at age 54, she just made a transition on March the 11th. So big up to the sister that goes by the name of Boss. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning Crew. You know how we do. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Air Doctor.
What up?
I did not know Boss passed away. I mean, she literally passed away yesterday?
Yeah.
Damn. I bought that Born Gangster cassette. I had it on cassette.
Yes.
And it's funny you say that, Boss said that she was a middle class kid or whatever. On the album, there's an interlude of her mother speaking, and I can't remember what her actual name was. It Michelle or Christina or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, Lachelle, I can't believe you rapping about this when you grew up in the suburbs and you went to Catholic school, right? Like this is on the the album. So, she didn't shy away from that, but wow. And I liked her singles too. Deeper and Recipe of a Hoe, my favorite. Oh man.
Yeah, that was Boss. So big up to her. Real quick before I get out of here, big up to Arthur Handy, $2. Rest in peace, Boss. First woman MC signed the Def Jam. They actually said that. And Pookie Wood, my cousin. I got a cousin in Alabama named Pookie. $5. Kamal, did you see your mayor get shut down here in Austin at SXSW?
South by Southwest.
It was a beautiful thing to say. A beautiful thing to see. They came like he was on the panel. He, people rose up and started talking about Cop City. They unfurled the banners. Literally, it looked like everybody who came to protest. So half the crowd got up. His security surrounded him. He walked out. They followed him. I was like, yeah, no matter where you go, the Cop City Patrol is after you, son. So that was nice to see. It was nice to see.
Beautiful.
Okay. Well, I'll let y'all go ahead and get to some news or whatever y'all want to talk about.
Those are the kind of positive, uplifting images that we need.
I can bring that up. After we slap the map, I can bring that up as story number 1, I believe.
Okay. Air Doctor, slap it. Peace. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media. This is the Beijing Edition. As you take a look at your screen, it is several beige or ecru. Some of them might be ecru. I'm not saying who.
What color is that? What is ecru?
You should look that up.
I will look that up. You're right. I'm ignorant. I'm like, what is that? What kind of color is that?
It might ring a familiar tone to you when you find
it. Once I look at it, I'll be like, oh. I'm used to beige.
So
that sounded French. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Ecru, bro. I think it's 2 C's in ecru, if I got that right. Anyway, regardless. Welcome, everybody. Today is Tuesday, March the 12th, on this daylight savings edition of the Remix Morning Show. It is definitely feeling an hour earlier where I am, and I don't know if everybody is hitting it the same way, but regardless, my name is Kim. We've got Kamal there. Jared's over there. Ear Doctor's back there. You guys are in here, remixers. Give the video a thumbs up. Engage with the content, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Become a member. Become a patron. Patreon.com/Black Power Media. You can also update your spring wardrobe at blackpowermedia.org. Get you some fresh teas out here so you can be radical and fresh at the same time. You like that? All right. So Kamal said he's going to set us off with some good news. Mayor Andre Dickless, as Reverend Kiana Jones calls, on the mayor of Atlanta was in Austin for the South by Southwest Festival. And Kamal Franklin, take us from there.
Okay, so the mayor was speaking, and someone decided to get up and start the protest. So let's just run it.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying, if you don't mind.
I like it when they look stunned.
Kamal, can you explain a little bit for those who can't hear what she's saying?
Explain, son. It's a protest happening right now. Now somebody else is jumping up. I love the coordinated action. Coordinated. You see security coming over. A couple of people walking out. They can see that this is done. I like when security is a little confused about what to do. You're in. And it's about to break off. This ain't the end of it. It's not the end of it. He's stuck. People handing out flyers now. The flyers are coming out. More people are standing. And he thinks he's about to control the audience again, but watch it's going to pop up. Look at who's talking. Think about the privilege. The privilege. Oh, you tried to throw privilege on him. That's when they started.
He thought he was still in Atlanta.
Yeah, he thought he was still going to make it happen.
Think about it. You see that?
They made it rain with pamphlets.
This Austin. This is the liberal whites in Austin. Notice they don't put their hands on the liberal whites. Oh, and look, they start to march down the aisle. They're bringing out the banner.
Yes.
And now they're going to go get him out. They got the banner. In Atlanta, we've been arrested already. Folks have been arrested already. I'm going to go to Austin to protest. And he's still sitting there behind. This is bad. I mean, I don't want to give them any shit. That's bad security right there. They don't even. They're stunned into silence. Wait, what do we do now? What do we?
I thought we was talking about arts and music.
What are we gonna do now? I don't know what to do. I don't know. See now, finally, this dude is gonna be like, "Yo, it's time to get out." The piano is done. I'm gonna let it play. I like when he goes out and people literally follow him out. Lady, you can't argue with the organizers.
Hey, goodbye.
And they follow him out.
I love that because
I know. They try to close the door on them. People are like, oh, hell no, you're not closing that door.
Like, we are here for you, Mayor Dickens. We ain't here to see the panel.
You leaving, we leaving.
Right.
Escort. You got to escort.
I love that.
Every city. That is beautiful. That was beautiful.
He said we gonna be outside. Come out looking like an evil villain with that light.
I know I can't. I'm trying to move with the light. So I'm gonna have to do. I thought I had a whole good setup here, and then the light just came and screwed it over, or whatever.
That damn sun.
Oh yeah, the sun is really active. So really quick. He's had protests now at his house. Like maybe a week and a half ago, folks came out and protested at his house. I think that people are like, so now, something that people tried to employ earlier was sort of I guess it's called a bird dogging strategy, where following that person around and making sure that wherever they go, they hear about it. These are these are the final quarter in terms of organizing, in my opinion, in terms of Cop City. And so I think organizers and activists who've done the referendum, they've taken our referendum out and delayed it. And so I think organizers are actually going back out into the streets in terms of targeted strategy at the primary target, which is Mayor Dickens. And so it's a great thing to see. It's a great thing to see.
That was lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that with us this morning, because we needed a bit of inspiration.
Yes, I agree. That was really, I mean, I saw it. I was like, oh, look at folks. Folks are doing the thing.
Yeah, right on.
Conversely, in DC, the DC crime bill passed, and I think Mayor Bowser signed it into law. That's where I believe our good sister and Jacqueline Lukeman is, down there at the DC City Council at the Wilson Building. I have a feeling they was going to bring the ruckus this morning. Not the the ruckus. Yeah, they was going to bring the ruckus this morning. I was hoping Jackie maybe could check in with us from down at the Wilson Building to see what the events, what the actions are planned for today. So just a thought.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can call and ask,
and we should. I didn't follow up again, but to see about getting April back on here too, because I believe she's involved with all of that down there too, with Black BLMDC. So yeah.
Okay. We got any additional stories?
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple of updates. So so one update I have is it looks like I'm going to be serving another year on the Hickory Ridge Village Board in a sort of de facto
Congratulations
non-election.
Oh wow.
Because so the candidate package were due last night for everyone running for the next year, and I submitted mine, and I changed my candidate statement to basically say, I thought I was gonna get myself unelected, because I said, listen, basically I was saying I don't want to do this like last time. If you're not down with ending Israel's genocide in Palestine, if you're not down with supporting working people and getting rid of the corporations out of our shopping center and defending so-called minorities who are really the world's majority, if you're not, like, I had this whole little thing, and I was like, then I said, I don't want your vote. If you're going to be constantly telling me don't bring world issues into our community, and I said, because you don't see, as I do, the macro and the micro, then don't vote for me. So I was like, I said, this is going to be great. I don't have to walk away from it. I can be more overt with my politics. And then if I don't get elected, so be it. Cause it's a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. But sure enough, only 5 people submitted packets for a 7-member council. So we're all going to be elected. We're all going to be seated.
Can't quit.
Can't quit. So that's one update in terms of these tree-lined streets. So
congratulations. Are you?
Yeah, I know, right?
Are we happy to be serving another year? Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess so. Like I said, it's a little bit more than I thought, and it's just not the arguments I want to have. I don't. And then I was really feeling that way, that I don't care about the intensely microscopic, microcosmic looks that we have to take if we can't have a conversation. If I know you're down with the genocide, if we can't even put out a statement saying just stop the violence, like it's not even a statement. It's just saying stop I didn't even use genocide. Just stop bombing. If we can't even do that, and I'm getting people sending me emails, and they're taking time during the community comment to say Jared Ball put this as an issue, and it's not for us to bring up. Like, I don't want to hear all that. And then I don't want to see you with the little ice cream social. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not cool. Like, I don't want to play these games. Like, I'm not for all of that.
Yeah.
But, we stuck with each other for another year.
Quick question, Jared. What if one of the Hickory Ridge people came up and was like, let's all pray together?
Oh, I'm sure that's happened.
Oh, so well, one of in a way that has one of my, and I think she said she's not running again, so she'll be my former colleague, but she was hosting these, I forgot exactly what she called them, but they were basically Christian spiritual sessions that she was inviting people to. And then last night, someone who I always have seen as sort of my nemesis and always as being hostile to me, said, well, basically saying, I know we're not going to do a statement, but how would you feel, Jared, if we at the next whatever community event, we had a fundraiser for aid to Gaza? And if you would you want to lead that effort? And we were just about to start the meeting, so I said, we'll talk about that another. But as I was thinking about it, I was thinking of my man Saswat and what he's always said about this. And then I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to participate. We're going to send them a few dollars and the bombs,
right?
In addition to the bombs, so we're going to send them a bag of rice and the drone strikes. Like, that doesn't work for me. Like, I don't want to participate with you all in this phony aid thing if you're not going to simultaneously say we should call for a ceasefire. Like, to me, that doesn't work. And I'm thinking, no disrespect to the Palestinians, but when I think about how I would feel if I'm on the other end, don't send me a bag of rice if you're going to keep sending the bombs. Like it don't work like that. I don't want you and your little Hickory Ridge village to feel better about yourself when you can't even say
ceasefire.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think if it comes up again, I'm gonna have to explain myself on that and just take what will, I'm sure, be spun into some whatever. But I just don't want to. So that's sort of the way yeah. So
writ large. Even though I don't have a story to pull up like that, that basically is what happened over the weekend or so forth, right? The United States has decided to do more airlifts. And then one of the disastrous ironies is like one of the airlift packages actually fell on people.
Oh my God.
Caused another 6 or 7 deaths in Palestine, in Gaza. And now they're doing this the idea of putting out this, this floating pier, exactly, to deliver more food to, because of the how food scatters in airlifts. But it's like, how you can solve all of this? You can stop sending the bombs in the first place. Like, what kind of stupid and this is my assumption, obviously, in his mind or in the administration's mind, this is all about doing something about responding to Michigan and the base by suggesting that you're supplying aid to help starving Palestinians. But the reason they're starving is what? Because there's a blockade and food is denied and bombs are being dropped and people are being murdered. All of that is supposedly not something we can really talk about, but we can highlight the aid. And as if people are not going to see through that. I mean, that's the stupidest thing. Is like people are going to see through that, but they still think this is a legitimate discussion or policy to have. Again, where they won't even put on the table, like stopping if they stopped delivering bombs, this would be over in a second. Israel does not exist without the largesse of the United States and the West. So it's blood on their hands, and they know it. But yet they're trying to, again, shift the narrative that's around, oh, look, we're providing aid for this tragedy that's taking place. Like it's like an earthquake or something,
Exactly. And then it's the narrative from the mainstream reporting, behind the scenes, the Biden White House is very unhappy with Netanyahu. It's like, well, show me how he's unhappy. Like, besides calling him names under his breath, like what is he doing in his policies? The Biden administration, what is Joe Biden doing in his policies to express that he is displeased with the way Benjamin Netanyahu is indiscriminately bombing Palestinians? There's nothing there. It was the Washington Post, and Democracy Now! Picked it up last week, that the Biden administration, despite not being able to get the big congressional military aid funding package passed, they've been quietly still arming Israel with 100+ smaller size arms deals that don't require congressional review or public scrutiny or anything like that. So Biden continues to play on our face. Oh, we're going to pick up the humanitarian aid. Oh, I don't like what Netanyahu's doing, but still, there you go. Still sending them plenty of munitions and arms and everything to still kill Palestinians.
Yeah. So that was one just quick update. The other one that I have relates to the story that has been sort of breaking out of Morgan State with the allegations of sexual harassment. So one I spent, and it worked out sort of perfectly. So yesterday, my oldest, who's a senior in high school, they had their senior cut day yesterday. So of course, in our household, that just means you go to work with your father. Like it's not what she thought it was going to be. So
it's a little early for that. Like the weather's not even good for the senior.
The weather, yeah. I'm a little removed from the planning of this, but apparently that was, and there were these ideas of I don't know what they had ideas of doing, but for our daughter, it was you go to work with your father. So she spent the day in my classes, and in the classes, I thought it turned out to even be better than usual. I always love it when they're there, but it turned out better because she got to be around for discussions of these allegations with students through 3 of my classes yesterday. And can
you lay the basis? What are the I don't know about what the allegations.
So I'll pull up the updated story here, and in fact, oh wait, I can't. I keep forgetting. I don't have.
You played this clip on Saturdays with Renee, and someone sent the clip to me too.
Oh no. So I'm putting in the chat the update. If somebody could pull this up, the update from the Baltimore Banner. It's just a regular story. It's not a video. Although I did send Ear Doctor a TikTok from the young woman's account where it looked like she was giving an update, but I haven't had a chance to actually hear that because she was also on WEAA yesterday.
So real quick, Kamal, this student from Morgan State University made a TikTok where she complained that she was being sexually harassed by a security guard who worked in the political science building, which is, I believe, the building that our good brother here works at.
In the behavioral science building. She's in political science, which is in the Jenkins, the new behavioral science building where I do work. Yeah, sorry, Kim. Yeah.
And the young woman complained that this particular security guard that she estimated to be in his 60s would proposition her, ask her out to eat, compliment her on her body, and it made her uncomfortable. So the young woman says that she complained to the powers that be in said building, and she happened to overhear a woman who works in the building of that, and I know you know these people, Jared. I can't call the names, but the young woman said that she complained to an administrator or another professor about this, and she overheard the older woman recounting and basically discrediting this young lady's accusations. And the young woman, to her credit, went and confronted this person in the moment, which I was really impressed with that young lady to do that, because I take Gen Z as being kind of passive. So for her to take a confrontation head on, I was really impressed with that. So basically, this young woman is saying that Morgan has not been responsive to her complaints, and that she doesn't feel safe, and that she's pissed that she's spent this money at this institution of learning and she doesn't feel protected there. Is that basically what she said?
That's the original video there. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, exactly. And in some senses they picked the wrong one because she's and I forgot the brand, but it's mentioned I think in the story. She is an influencer with a substantial TikTok following. So as it mentioned there, the video that is the original video already has over, I think, 250,000 views, and it's,
1.6 million times been viewed.
Wow.
And garnered over 225,000 likes.
Wow.
So there you go. So, and she named names in terms of the security guard. She named the name of the administrator, the chair of political science. She named, and now what I heard yesterday was that she had a meeting with the president and had an appearance on WEAA, which is Baltimore radio housed at Morgan State, and and then she posted a new TikTok, which I sent that's the one I sent to the ear doctor. If we want to check it out and see what she says in terms of an update. But what I can say is, in that over the course of 3 classes, I want to say 100% of the women in the classes co-signed. Everybody participate. I don't think there was any non-participation, and nobody disagreed. Everybody reported, whether it was this security guard in particular or others, that it's the security guards in particular. Because I asked specifically, I said, what about just the men on campus, like other students? Is it? And they said, yeah, I mean, obviously there's I guess the routine patriarchy, I guess, so to speak. But there was this understanding that there is an increased or an enhanced or an elevated problem with the security guards, with maintenance staff, with even faculty, with people in relative authority, constantly inviting some sort of inappropriate exchange and then not only that, whether it's students or anyone else, when women report these instances, that's where they mostly resonated with this woman's story, that they don't get any support, to the point where many, at least over a good amount of the women who came to my classes yesterday said, we won't even report stuff. Yeah. So it's a major problem.
The position of the administration, like I saw.
So far, they just said that they're going to a very short response. So far, they're going to, for instance, it's not nearly as long as the new communique regarding you can't protest against the university.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, funny how that works. But this one just had a very short statement. We're investigating and we take it very seriously.
No, you don't.
So in my classes and selfishly in terms of what the conversation my daughter got to see and hear from people she'll be basically soon be a colleague of in albeit elsewhere. This is an issue that they're having to deal with, and that they're not and they don't feel any safer with all of the security. I mean, one woman reported that a maintenance crew worker in her residence hall would constantly proposition her, and she felt even unsafe going to her room. She was like, I don't, and then he might have access to her room, and then someone else co-signed he does. Like they do have access. So you and then again, when people report stuff, apparently there's no response. And now they have to go. That's the other thing that came up, because one person said, well, this guy that she named should be fired immediately. And that we had an interesting conversation about that, because I said, well, on the one hand, I actually, at some risk in terms of the conversation, I don't think it should work that way as a process. You can't just have one person walk in, say something, and then the person immediately be fired. There should be some sort of process that takes place. And then I said, beyond what I think, the fact that they've hired a private security company to do this, I'm sure there are steps that would have to be taken, because this person probably has some sort of contract with the private security group, which has its own contract with the university. So it probably can't be as fast as she says something, he gets fired. Now, the real problem, of course, is the process that I'm saying should take place doesn't seem to even get started, because people don't even want to hear it, as she reports. And I would have to say, again, just my own limited biased experience is that it resonates, that you bring a problem to people with authority, and they would prefer you go away than risk any PR complaint or having to actually change anything. So, and your doctor says he didn't get the
TikTok,
the email, so I'm going to try again to send that text or that TikTok.
Any bad PR that the university receives as a result of this is their own fault. You don't take seriously the complaints of students when they're saying that there are for all intents and purposes, employees of the university that are making them feel unsafe or uncomfortable. Um, the part of the young woman's video that got me was when she said, and she called us out specifically. She was like, I hate the fact that I talked and I went to these older women and they brushed me off, and my heart broke for her because on one hand, I kind of understand, though I don't agree. I understand why she got brushed off because by the time you 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, how much sexual harassment have we have we endured? How much regular catcalling, street harassment? So by the time you get to a certain age, you're actually kind of numb to it, right? This is the way of the world. This is just how the shit works. Like you get harassed and propositioned by men who want your attention, who you could care less about, right? So it seems as though the attitude from the older woman towards the younger woman was, you just kind of got to deal with this, honey. This is just how the world works. But no, she shouldn't have to deal with that. This is her institution of learning. And I know no place is a utopia. No place is 100% safe. But goddamn, can I at least go to class without the security guard who's hourly wage that I'm at least contributing to with my tuition and fees? Like, can this motherfucker not talk crazy to me as I'm walking in and out the building? And I hate the fact that this younger woman's complaints were not received seriously by the older woman, of whose age I don't know, but older than her, right? And that I felt like we had let her down generationally, to be honest, even though that's not some shit I would ignore her calls, but you guys understand what I'm saying. So
no, I mean,
certainly, just to clarify, the chair that she reported it to the extent that story is accurate, is certainly old enough to have not only experienced plenty, but to know that she should have.
And she could take it. I mean, there's a lot to be said for just going up to that security guard as a first step and telling them directly about their behavior, not from the student, but from the administrator. There's a lot to be said about contacting that security guard superior as a first step and saying, this person, look, we're going to do an investigation. This person is going to have to be moved to another area where they are not interacting with students, as a first step, right? There's a lot that usually can be done that if people just show the initiative to do it, that can, and again, because the young lady, I think based on what y'all said, she said that she's only complained because it was continual, or it wasn't like some one-off thing where she could brush it off and just be like, whatever, but that it was continual.
Can I try, since the email's not working, I can try to just play it here, her update, and if that's cool, and see if it works.
Or Kamal, can you play it if Jared can't play it? Can you?
I'd sent the email, but apparently you're not getting these emails. Is that correct?
I tried to play the one that I saw in the link, but because I don't have TikTok, it blocks the everything.
Oh, so you don't? Okay. All right. Let's just give this a shot and see if how it works.
Period. I'm starting to get some justice now. As you guys can see, it says Oregon State student accuses guard of sexual harassment and staff for dismissing her complaint. None of this would have came about. Thank you, Baltimore Sun. None of this would have happened if the administration handled me correctly. I wouldn't have brought it to the internet or really made any more noise about it, but it's just like being treated like this. I feel like crap today. Everything kind of just caught up with me. I come home tomorrow. It's really hitting, and I just want justice. The thousands of girls in my DMs, messages. I mean, this story got almost 2 million views. That says, like, it's a problem. So I'm just asking everybody bear with me, but this is an update for you guys, and we're making big waves. So, period.
So, I mean, these are the kinds of conversations I would still like to have or view or be aware of that men are having with each other, right? I mean, I guess I'm estimating the 60-year-old security guard, maybe he don't go down to the bar and talk about, all the college girls he tries to hit on, but we need to be clear that these things are happening, that there are and some people there's inappropriate behavior on all sides, I guess. But I mean, there's a power dynamic here with this student being a young woman and this older gentleman being older and a security guard in a position of authority, right? And in the way that this plays out in different ways throughout society, like there are creepy old men constantly hitting on younger girls, and who snatches these motherfuckers up but for the girl, the victim herself, coming forward and explaining her experience, right? That's the only way action happen. Like, this behavior is acceptable. And again, I hate this for your daughters. Like, I hate this, that young women should just accept that they're going to be approached inappropriately, propositioned inappropriately, either by men or boys their own age. But when it comes from someone so much older who definitely should know better, like, it's time for his peers and his contemporaries to collect him and get him together. And, I guess if he was able to pull one of these younger college girls, maybe he get high five from the other senior citizens. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look at you, Stanley. We see you there with your young thing. But again, I don't see these discussions happening, but for them becoming some sort of social media sensation.
Yeah, I think I forgot for a second that he was 60 years old.
Well, that's what she said. I mean,
Well, that he's an older guy. That he's an older guy.
Other students corroborated that. They know him. I never see him because, as they also corroborated, he works in the evenings, and I'm not there in the evenings. Okay. The security that I see is, by my estimation, a very friendly older Black woman. If anything, I've always just ever wondered if she was ever called to action, like what? Like, I mean, no disrespect. I mean, I just don't, so I'm not really clear.
No, that's their job, is to stand there basically. And I mean, just stand there. And so it's again, I don't want to derail, go off on people's jobs, but just stand there. There
really should be, and same thing with the maintenance. That's what I was saying. Like, whether faculty, maintenance, admin, security, conversation should be minimum at most. I mean, if it's not a greeting or good morning, or or I'm answering a direct question, directions maybe. What are we even doing? Like, there shouldn't be. So all of that is just a mess. Just stand there, I wave, I greet this woman every morning, how you doing? And that's it. And that should be all that the students get from this man and all these other men. But to Kim, to your specific, I was trying to think in terms of just, again, my own peer and work group, who I'm wondering, now with this complaint, will his peers and his employers ever even hear about this before they, much less say, yo, what are you doing? In other words, I could very easily see that if he doesn't get checked at work, his peers might not, like, people he sees they might not even know he's doing this, is my point. So it's
or his wife might not know he's doing it.
His wife might not know. Like, again, I'm thinking of, like, none of my friends. I don't work with any of my friends. I don't see any of like, I don't see what they're doing on a daily. So if theoretically, if they were behaving like this, how would I know? And then to check them is really what I'm saying. So to the other point you're raising, without this TikTok, and then on the opposite end, the students are reporting, I don't even want to say anything anymore. Like, one woman started a whole support group. One of my students started a whole support group because she said there is nowhere to go. And she said, when I reported what happened to me a couple years ago, nobody did anything. And the dude is still walking around. So she was like, so I created a support group. So we talk to each other. And she said no men show up. I'm sorry, Kim, but to your point, she said no men come to their meetings unless it's tied to some fraternity organizational thing and they come for the frat or some other reason, but they're not actually there to engage the topic, she said. Sorry.
So unfortunately, that leaves us, women and girls especially, with the assumption that it's more men doing this, right? Like since we can't quantify it exactly, as a woman and a girl, I have to assume that the majority of men are doing this, right? Like in some form of fashion. So if that's my assumption, that should be y'all's assumption. So even though this may not be behavior that men present or do in front of other men, we should assume that it's happening, right? And then in some ways, we have to be having these conversations kind of like on an ongoing basis. Like, I can't stand the fact that there's all this advice for women and girls, oh, walk in groups, don't walk alone at night, be aware of your surroundings, do this, do that. But there's never the advice to men and boys how not to be a predator, how not to make women feel unsafe or uncomfortable, how not to pressure a woman, how to interpret body language when a woman is not making eye contact and not looking at you and walking away from you. That doesn't mean continue to follow her and talk to her and engage her, because she's letting you know without telling you to outright fuck off that she's not interested in you, right? But men and boys are not socialized and are not taught how to interpret those signs, so they take it as a challenge. Oh, I gotta go pursue her more, right? Like we can see the shit is fucked up, okay? And we are seeing women and girls say, hey, we're not even comfortable coming forward about our experiences because we don't get any response. Nothing happens. There's no accountability. So unfortunately, we're going to have to treat men and boys as though they are these brutes, these apes, these potential predators. And we have to have these conversations to dissuade them from this behavior and even make them aware of the behavior. Because a lot of times they may or may not know that they're being creepy or that they're making somebody feel uncomfortable or unsafe. And then some of them just don't care, So, but how are we supposed to engage with that? You know what I'm saying? How are we supposed to deal with that as a community? Because clearly it's a problem if this young woman has gotten this large a response. And this is from, I won't say just sexual harassment, right? Because sexual harassment is very real. But even if we were talking about sexual assault, and in our wording, as y'all say, you know what I mean? Like, anyway. So, but you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, this is not all men are trash. This is not that. But enough men are trash out here that there has to be some sort of education. There has to be some sort of conversation, some sort of discourse, some sort of dialogue that arises beyond when an incident like this goes viral.
Well, and segue for the ear doctor, but what I was speaking about earlier, like there are such, again, they're not in numbers high enough, but groups like Black Men Lab and other groups do take that kind of work very, very seriously in terms of political education, social education. And so you're right. Some of it is about peers. Some of it is about organizing. Some of it is about different groups. That has to counteract the larger issues of society that washes over men in particular in this case around kind of our roles in how we treat women, how we get women, how we flirt with women, the levels of what it's considered appropriate and or not appropriate. I think all that stuff. Sorry about the sun thing. But all that stuff, I think, is things that we have to contend with and do a better job of dealing with, whatever. Ear doctor, won't you come on up so I can fix my
You just got to go sit in front of that empty bookshelf.
I know, but then I don't want to sit in front of that empty bookshelf because that was the whole point of like.
You ain't going to look smart no more.
It's all bad. I'll fix it in a second. Come on. Yo. Go ahead, doctor. Take it away.
Thank you for even leading off like that. That's exactly what's going on. We don't have rites of passage for boys. We don't have rites of passage for girls. We're living in a bastardized culture where we're living a culture that's not ours. So therefore, we got to have a safe place to come and heal and work on these type of things so we can be like, no, that's not our culture, because a lot of us think that's regular thing to do. So
I don't know, ear doctor. This gender epistemologies book is messing with me a little bit. There is pre-colonial patriarchy. Even if the only way it works is if we redefine what all of this means. But women are reporting that the historical record seems clear that this anti-woman thing didn't just start with the white man per se. as much as he deserves all the blame that he should get.
I mean, if you look at the first colonizers, the Arabs and what were you saying, Kim?
Well, but the point is that even in African culture, there were issues. Sorry, Kim.
I disagree that there are not rites of passages. In fact, there are rites of passages. Like there are many girls experience their first traumas with sexual harassment or sexual assault as girls and women. You know what I'm saying? So that is a rite of passage. Whether it's not a positive one, it's not a good one, but it is one. You know what I'm saying? And maybe to some extent, absolutely, boys are experiencing sexual violence towards them as well. But one thing that I say, like, it seems that boys and men, or some, are allowed like X amount of either sexual assaults or but before anything ever happens, right? Like there are usually a lot of either the word is out on a certain man or boy that this man does this, don't be around this person, don't leave your drink around him, he's a creep, he does this, he does that. Like there's it's known, right? And so, but it's just accepted. It's well, the police not going to do nothing about it. If her husband, her father ain't going to do nothing about it, what am I supposed to do about it, right? So it's that is a rite of passage. Some boys and men get to harm girls and women as a rite of passage. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of girls and women, I can speak for myself. By the time I was 17, I experienced my first SA and DV incidents. 17, I was still in high school. You know what I'm saying? And that just, it was a harbinger of things to come in young adulthood, right? So usually when women and girls experience these incidents, it's usually not the first time, second, third, fourth, fifth, especially when you get to a certain age. So I'm just saying, like, I appreciate the work that when you talk about what the Black Man Lab does, and I think that work is very valuable. I would like to hear about how boys are being taught again to how to accept rejection. Like I think there's a lot of emotional ass men out here who do not know how to accept rejection, and they lash out either in violence or anger or harm in some way.
Okay. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why you have to create a safe space to do that. Just like if you're going to a therapist, this is a safe space for you able to heal, to talk about what's going on, and also to incite how this culture is not our culture, and at the same time be like, you know what? This is how you go about doing stuff. We don't have that. We go to school and learn how to be slaves. That's what we go to school and learn. We don't have. That's the space where we go and learn something.
But how does that teach us how to interact with each other, though? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what I'm saying, where other space do we have to go and learn how to be good human beings? There's no other space unless you go to church. They don't teach you how to be a good human being. They teach you how to praise God. Other than church and other than school, where do we go for this healing? We don't have spaces. So we have to create these spaces, and that's where a rites of passage comes in, where you have a space to do and educate and learn to grow. But if you don't have these spaces, then how do you do that?
No, I agree. I mean, I agree.
Where's your microphone at? It's like miles away.
Because I basically moved to the other side of the office, which looks like a prison cell.
Okay.
So, like, but quickly, like, yeah. I mean, I agree, because I think part of the issue, again, always, and this is one issue of several important issues, that since we lack control over the institutions that guide us or educate us, or even socialize us, right? Since we lack control, not if we had control that they would be perfect, particularly what Jared brought up around the history of patriarchy and misogyny and so forth in the world and in various cultures. But at the very least, that we understand that if we don't control these things, even the ability to root out the causes are just not going to be there. And again, one-on-one interactions are one thing, but it's the like you said, it's the reinforcing nature of, like, if you're hanging out with your peoples and one person does something, and it's not this crazy anymore, but sometimes if some dude gets smacked in the face or pushed away, his boys laugh at, like, you got, like, not in a way to date, but in the fact that he did something for that to happen, as opposed to, like, gee, I mean, like, yo, what did you do? Like, are you crazy? Like, what are you doing for that to happen? It's more like, that kind of thing. So again, some of that is the culture of youth, of the way in which people interact sexually. both genders, all genders, bar culture, all of that kind of stuff. I think all plays in. But again, if we don't control it, and people by the millions are educated in this way, and there's not a lot to stop them from seeing other ways until they get into trouble, right? Most people, unless there's something that's large, that there's a reaction to it like this that teaches them and or others around. But for the most part, because these are not the things that come up that stop it. Like there's people like do this. I mean, this dude is probably, I don't know him personally, obviously, but I'm sure this is like common behavior. It's like, oh, no one's ever. This is probably as far as it's ever gotten in terms of him having to deal with some consequences at this particular stage, which most likely will probably result at the very least in him being reassigned, and probably will cost him his job. This young lady has now gotten like 3 million views off of this. There's no way Morgan can ignore, I would think, can ignore this now, and will have to do a full investigation. And if other women on campus are coming forward and saying, this is partly my story also, they will have to do something. Who knows what happens in 5 years, how it gets enforced. But the fact that this was put out there, unfortunately, does mean it's the way in which people deal with it, because they deal with it on the back end as opposed to on the front end of how we even socialize boys and girls. And again, across gender lines, on sexuality, interactions with each other, all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, this culture is so crazy, man. I mean, think about it. Us guys don't even know how to tell each other we love each other. It's to the
I love
point.
you, man. I love you.
I love you too, bro. And the thing is, it's to the point where our way of showing love is cracking on each other. Like me talking about his Long John shirts and stuff like that. Instead of me just coming out and being like, yo, I love you, bro. I want to crack and have jokes and stuff like that. Instead of actually digging into my emotions and being vulnerable and saying, you know what, I love you. So one of the things we do at the Black Man Lab is we take a piece, a time, and we get everybody to come up to the room, get one person. This is almost like church. We get one person to come up, and everybody gives them dap if they had a long week, if they had a long month, if they've going through some stuff, and just actually come and be like, yo, I love you, brother. Because a lot of brothers have never heard I love you, which is a wild thing. That's why you have to create a space to be able to heal and repair. If we don't have that, then we're just waiting on society to do it, and that's never going to happen. With that said, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Unless y'all have anything else to put on that? No, don't.
Yeah, I mean, heal and repair is one thing, but teaching harm reduction is another. You know what I mean? In addition to those things, and I just don't want us to ignore how early some of these things begin. Like I have a friend who has a elementary age school child, the daughter. The daughter got attacked by a boy in her class who choked her, right? The principal, the administrator told the mother, well, that's how he showed your daughter that he likes her. This is coming from an adult. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, there's a lot of unlearning that has to happen, right? In reprogramming, but we have to acknowledge that there is harm out here being committed, and the harm is disproportionate. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that women and girls are attacking men and boys at the same rates. Not only that men and boys are attacking women and girls, but at the same rates men and boys are attacking one another, right? Like that's another thing too. Like the way boys interact and men interact with one another has to be addressed also. But I'll let you go here, Doctor.
Oh no, it all has. This is not our culture. We gotta
saying that, but I
because
live in
it's
culture.
not.
But I live here.
Yeah,
but I live here.
You can be in it, but not of it.
But I'm still affected by it. I'm still impacted by it. Like
I got you. So fix it.
I'm trying to ask who's teaching.
That's why we have this safe space called
consent. You know, I'm asking the question.
Listen,
I mean, I'll be happy to come do it. You know what I'm saying? We can do a whole role play.
Kim, that's why we have a safe space called Black Power Media, where we can actually heal and repair our people with knowledge and with other thoughts outside this box of this is how society's supposed to be. That's what we're doing. That's the part we're doing in society. We're bringing forth this. Therefore, you got a space to talk and be free. Speaking of, let's talk about some shows that came on when Kim was actually talking about what the Remix Morning Show was doing on Beyond Breaking Barriers. Let's talk about some shows that went here on Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
Booyah!
Get up, stand up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. What's up, everybody? All right, this is what it is. This is the Remix Morning Show. I'll go by the name of the Ear Doctor. And yes, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. We up to 503 people watching live right now. Hit those buttons, subscribe, like, go to patreon.com, become a member over there. And also you can drop some change right here in the chat room, super chat and all that. All right, so speaking of, we did have some dope shows that came about on Black Power Media. So let me bring them back and rewind so you can see what happened. First, let's start off with Darker Than Blue, when Jack Hay had some people come through, the Hood Communists, and they talked about, one of the things they talked about is the trip to Cuba. Let's see what they talking about here. Let's go.
That, Hood Communists was invited to attend, and excuse me, it has a long name, the International Meeting of Theoretical Publications of Left Parties and Movements. This was in Havana, Cuba, last month in February, around the 12th. And the three of us got to go and represent Hood Communist. And it was really beautiful and amazing because there were over 37 different countries represented there. And I believe it was between 200 to 300 people in total that attended the conference. And so we were really in a room full of other really revolutionary, radical media workers, communicators, organizers, as well as some more, I guess, politician type.
Yeah. So, like I said, they was going in. Go and check that one out so you can find out more about that story of what happened in Cuba. And yeah, it's a dope show, so check that out. Other than that, we also had Beyond Breaking Barriers with Piper Carter, and she had Burn It Down Kim Brown, and he's talking about her life behind the microphone. Let's see what Kim was talking about in Piper.
Say
I
it.
don't know how to
Come
put
on,
it.
say it, girl. No, listen, it's ridiculousness on urban radio, right? And don't get me wrong, this is why I love the Remix Morning Show too, because again, we do not abandon goofiness and silliness, right?
Yeah, you guys have fun, right? Have fun in the morning,
you know. But like, I'm not the one, and I appreciate, none of my comrades either. Oh my goodness, why did this rapper, buy his mother a 35,000 Hermes bag? It's like, who the fuck cares about all this? The hyper materialism and consumerism and the jocking of, so and so just bought him a new Bugatti or a new and it's like, why do y'all can y'all get off the Europeans' dicks for their cars?
Yeah, they don't like you.
Please.
Yeah, so that was a good one. Make sure y'all check that one out too. That just happened yesterday. We got a bunch of dope shows here on Black Power Media, so make sure y'all tune into that. All right, with that said, I guess we could go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning crew. You know how we do. Yeah. Yeah.
I've literally moved 6 times.
See.
Try to get someplace. The whole point of having the office, I got to get some shades or something. The whole point of having the office was to be like, I got my books. I can control the lighting, the setting. But the place where I place the desk is right in front of a sun field. Right in front of a sun field.
I'm impressed. And I'm not impressed by, I'm impressed by the fact that you was able to work a V-neck t-shirt with a long john shirt. I've never seen that combination. I am impressed. Definitely. All right. So I guess Kim had to go walk the dog. Yeah, so good shows all weekend that came through on Black Power Media. And Sundays was pretty nice too. So y'all go check all those shows out and get some more mixes. I was thinking about doing a blend You back, Kim?
I never left. I didn't realize I wasn't on the screen. my computer died, so I had to plug it back up, and I guess it took my camera offline.
So yeah, we just had you on talking about your years behind the microphone on Piper Carter's show and giving
wonderful
up,
time.
saying how much you love being on the Remix Morning Show, how much we love having you.
I do. I love the Remix Morning Show. The Remix Morning Show is what I dreamed for a morning show, even though, like I said on Piper Show, it's not my dream. This is Jared's, brainchild, but it accomplishes what I always knew, like a black-centered morning program could do. And I'm very proud to be part of it. I really enjoy it.
Thank you. Oh, I feel great about that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let y'all go ahead and get back to some more news and ting. I'll catch y'all later.
Thank you, Air Doctor. Peace, everybody. Remixers, good morning. Thank you all for joining us on this Remix Monday, actually Tuesday. Here we are for the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings. You can find us right here, 8 a.m. Eastern for the Remix Morning Show, the baddest morning show. Fuck the YouTube streets in the world. The best world in the world, shorty. The whole world, everybody. So big up to my comrades, Kamal and Jared Ball, Air Doctor. My name is Kim. Shout out to Jackie Lukman. I believe you might be able to find Jackie outside the Wilson building in D.C. Protesting the passage of D.C.'s new crime bill. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. It's everything everybody asked for. So
we've had over 500 folks watching live.
Really?
Yeah. It's gone over 500 a few times. We appreciate all of that.
Nice.
It needs to follow some of that, since I need some curtains now. I need some dark curtains in this room to make things happen. Couple of quick super chats. You know what I'm saying? I think the curtains I need cost about, I just looked it up, $364.21. God
damn, what kind of curtains you getting?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you right now? What's wrong with you right now? What's wrong?
You better go to Dollar Tree. Stop playing.
What's wrong with you right now? Can you try not to get the hustle on? Get the hustle on. And I need 5 sets of those curtains, because you never know. You never know.
Come on, BK.
You know bring them super chats up or whatever, like Patreon super chats. Let's try to make sure I can stay in one place at one time, so I can go get the. That's right. I need them drapes. Let's get them drapes rolling. So help that out.
Let us get it. I emailed you guys a story. I don't know if y'all have it or can access it or even care to report upon it. It's fine.
Care to report upon it. Blinken in the Caribbean.
Yes.
I got it. I'm bringing it up right now.
Tony Blinken. And I love, when I say I love, it's the opposite. I actually hate, but I love when they keep referring on the news to Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry. I said, when did he become the Prime Minister? When was he elected? Lady on the news, person on the news, like y'all just be saying shit.
And part of the news is that he has just resigned. If I'm not.
Yes, he did resign. But then I heard this morning that he was in Jamaica, but he had been in Puerto Rico. So I'm like, okay. What else? But it's important because when I saw Anthony Blinken took time out of, negotiating a ceasefire or whatever the fuck he called himself doing over in the Middle East. Nope. He said, let me go diddle with some other black and brown people shit. let me go meddle and interfere in other places. CARICOM, here I come.
Among ourselves on our support for the Haitian people. The difficult decisions we make here today will have to be in the interests of the Haitian people. And we must be clear-sighted, strategic, and laser-focused on acting in their interests. We must focus not just
on a lot going on.
Solution, but on a need for putting in place building blocks for political stability and the long-term recovery and development of Haiti. Indeed, the humanitarian crisis is also one of importance and priority for
So these are people from CARICOM speaking.
Our deep appreciation.
I'm going to skip ahead to the Jamaican.
On the ground,
so it's not coming across very well. It's not coming through very loud. It's very okay.
Oh, okay.
Can we turn it up somehow?
Let me try again.
Yeah, I think there's something going on. Are you guys using the right browsers over there? Because on the TikTok, we couldn't really hear the TikTok that well either. So I was kind of straining to listen, and that video kind of played the same way. I'm like, I can't really hear what you're saying. It doesn't come through as loud and clear as it normally does. So I'm figuring there's something going on with StreamYard.
Yeah, it's not on my side. The video is not that high anyway. But what we can, I'll switch to another a news story that I brought up.
That's cool. Yeah, maybe we can
that
come
will
back
say
to
the
that.
same. That basically will point out similar information. So it's amid chaos. This is the headline from USA Today: amid chaos and gang violence in Haiti, Ariel Henry agrees to resign as prime minister. And so basically, Haiti's embattled prime minister agreed to resign late Monday following days of mounting pressure. And as they say it, the last vestiges of law and order in the Caribbean country have collapsed. He was stranded in Puerto Rico. He made the announcement in a video address saying that he wants to thank the Haitian people for the opportunity he's been granted not by the Haitian people, but by the American government that is the puppet of the Haitian government. And it says airport attack, police stations on fire, mass prison escape. So those are some of the things that are actually happening in Haiti. A lot of this is quote unquote, at this stage, I don't even know if gangs are the right word. These are armed militias who, again, have been armed by elites in the past. And now through the United States, floods of weapons have been brought into Haiti and given out in the street, and people have armed themselves, or gangs have armed themselves. It says here, his own tenure as prime minister was only meant to be a temporary basis, but he has been in that position since July 2021 after the assassination of President Morsi. He has the backing of the United States, of course, and it's the United States, I think, who is now attempting to push this person out. As has been talked about already, Kenya has been proposed to be an international force to lead the way in coming in. The United States is giving an additional $100 million to send a multinational force to Haiti. U.S. Secretary Blinken met in Jamaica on Monday to discuss a political transition in Haiti and how to halt spiraling violence with a humanitarian crisis. And he said that they would add $100 million to finance the deployment of a multinational force to Haiti. Now, this time around, the United States is attempting not to directly go in, but to pay other countries, particularly Black nations, to go in to hide the face of imperialism. But that is what's happening on the ground in Haiti as we speak. I think the situation, for various reasons, is again not only gang violence and militias taking control, but on the ground there is a sense from people who've been speaking about it of some helplessness. Access to food has been cut off, even access to clean water in some places. And so there is a sense of disarray of things, obviously not functioning on the ground as they need to. And I think there are people who are scared, trying to figure out ways to get out. Again, there are social movements on the ground, but whether or not they're going to have the ability to have a role in stopping something, as in troops coming in, and or even trying to do something to have negotiations with some of these militias, is not something that we can know right now. So there's a lot happening, a lot of layers to it. It's not a straightforward situation by any means. And so we should continually report back and maybe have Amira, who's asked to come on to talk a little bit more in depthly about what the situation is right now.
I mean, what would placate or assuage these militias? Like, ultimately, like, what are their goals? What do they want? Or are they there just to cause chaos at the behest of the elites, just to have Haiti in a permanently destabilized position?
I mean, I think at first it seemed like people were hired guns to protect elite forces, and again, I think these were organized street gangs at the beginning that were given again, military grade weapons, who started without, the idea of taking over the whole country, but began to take over territory, and began to do things to make money, and began to literally kidnap people. Sexual assault was reported. People were scared to leave their homes. These things started to continue to happen, to the point now where, again, I think is rightfully being pointed out, that these are militias. These are not necessarily street gangs. And some of these folks, they have not only the military armament, but vests. They have structures. They're one of the few outside the government, which obviously barely has structure, that's not controlled directly by elites at this stage. And so this is literally an ongoing open fight for power in terms of the agency that these militias have, the agency that the elites have, the agency that government operators are having, and obviously those outside the country, in terms of the United States in particular, who are trying to corral this and, in their estimation, stabilize so that capital can continue to function in these places. But again, I think there's a lot of moving pieces, as been reported before. It's not a straightforward situation. These militias have shown themselves in some cases to be extremely dangerous to the general population even. So these are not sort of revolutionary or radical militias at this particular stage. At least most of them are not. I think there are people who are having conversations with them about next step. I think they're getting politicized around the level of control that they can possibly have in Haiti at this particular stage, of the fact that they've forced a resignation, the fact that they're controlling area on the ground. So the situation is fluid and the situation is ongoing.
Good to have you back, JB. You still muted?
Yeah, no, I is that?
That's you.
I think it's on my. That's
yeah.
my end. Okay. Yeah. Are you hearing that?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
What is?
It's an echo.
Unplug your mic and come back in.
You think that's it?
Well, there's another story about New School University race to the bottom. Is that something you want to cover? That might be a Jared story, or
totally. I was finished with college when I got finished with college, Shorty. Whatever's happening in college now, that's other people.
You don't know nothing about college no more?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in college. I know what's going on in college. A bunch of scamming. That's what the fuck's going on in college. Sorry, kids, but undergrad's a scam. I'm sorry. I hate to break that news. But you can get your advanced degree and get trained in something, and that's worth something. But undergrad,
don't do the undergrad.
No, man. Listen, my whole journalism curriculum, that I should have did that shit at Howard Community College, son. Like I did not need to go to Temple. I did not need to go all the way to Temple and pay some out-of-state tuition for that shit. They could have taught me that shit right at HCC.
Well, just it's something related to why college ain't shit. Is the prices of college and other things, as U.S. core inflation tops forecast for a second straight month. So the idea that the economy is supposedly doing well for some people, but not for others, continues to be sort of baked in the cake. And so we're not going to be able to play this whole story, but Bloomberg is reporting that for the second straight quarter or second straight month, consumer price indexes, excluding food and energy, climbed 0.4%. And so this, going back to how the economy actually works, this is going to have a continued impact for people on the ground and folks attempting to feed themselves, clothe themselves, pay for things like college and other things. Because right now, Biden is attempting to suggest that the economy is a strong suit for him, and that's going to be something that helps him get back elected. But it is something that is also like in flux and something that Trump will be able to use against him.
Is my mic working?
There we go.
Yeah, it's perfect now.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
Just listen to the ear doctor.
Thank you, ear doctor. The consumer price index, when you say excluding food and energy, the most expensive shit out here. Like what? How what so what is it? What's the CPI including the most expensive shit out here?
No, I think in some ways they're suggesting that other than food and housing, that these other things have gone up more than expected.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And remember, if I caught what you all were saying, remember part of the argument is that Biden only has a problem of messaging. We've heard this from Roland Martin to WBAI in New York to even Hot 97 with Rosenberg the other day in his critique of Charlemagne. It's this refrain of if Biden's administration would just get their messaging right to let people know how good they're doing, and the economy is so yeah. I just saw this story on Michael Hudson's website, The Economist, who at one point attended the New School in New York, and where my homeboy Derek Hamilton is now. And the now I don't even have it pulled up, but so I'm just looking at here. But the long story short is that because they're running out of money or have a budget crisis, they're putting the president's residence up for sale. And so if you want like another view of academia, so you hear my Morgan State stories. If you want the other end of these academic streets, so to speak, you have the New School up there in New York where, they may be struggling right now with student enrollment and et cetera and so forth. But to deal with that, they want to sell one of these residents, of the president, I think it said, for $20 million.
Oh,
is the cost of this, what is it, 5-story penthouse brownstone? I don't know what the hell it is. It's some crazy, beautiful estate. Now, my bad, everybody. I had to restart so many times. I lost all my tabs and whatever, but in my emails and all the other stuff. So, but that's the short of it. And they go into a little bit of the, it's in the university's in one of the most expensive areas of the city. Anyway, they're dealing with, and they talk a little bit of some of the salaries of some of these elite universities, I think, of some of the administrators. I mean, it's just a huge amount of money that they're making.
It says nearly 90% of the New School's faculty are part-time adjunct professors, some earning as little as about $6,000 per course. Union leadership.
That's wow. Now, $6,000 a course is, last I checked, Morgan was paying $3,500 per course. So, but 90% are adjuncts. So that means, again, most people are not on tenure track. They're not getting tenure. They're not in line to get tenure, and they're not full-time faculty. They have no benefits. So while on one end, and thank you for catching that, Kamal, because on one end you have people living in these $20 million estates, in
subsidized
Manhattan.
Housing. $20 million
exactly.
Subsidized housing for one family.
Which they describe as a perk of the job. And that they're saying like this would be one perk that they would have to give up. But it would have to be like this wild discrepancy because, if 90% are at $6,000 a course, they're not. Wow.
Yeah. Why does the college even think it needed a $20 million? Obviously, I know they bought it for less, but still, a even at that time, it was saying it sounds like an extremely expensive home for the president. Like, aren't you paying a salary? Aren't you paying a salary to the president so he can get his own housing? But why, this, these schools who want to show off in a New School, it's right above the Village, right below 14th Street in New York City. It's been around now for a few decades, maybe a little longer than that. And so it sort of kind of publicized itself at one time as like sort of boutique prestige school. That was a little, I don't know, avant-garde more than like left of center. But to see also, again, the ways in which they handle their own finances, it's all about the show. And it's, forget about the students, forget about the teachers. We got all this money, and I'm sure if the president is getting this kind of like whatever perks the president is getting, that a lot of the other resources are falling to the top echelon of the administration in terms of salaries and perks that they are also getting.
Yeah, it's very top heavy. I mean, and there's versions of it even where, you know, at Morgan or everywhere, there's these top heavy salaries, and then most of the people are doing work underpaid, under resourced. But if I saw correctly earlier, the one of the issues is enrollment is down, and that 60,000 a year whatever tuition is being lost. They're gonna, and I think academia in general is in crisis across the board. So yeah. I just thought that was, sorry.
No, I think the way Kim was talking about too, like higher tuition rates, less financial aid, people who are taking out loans again with big interest rates these days. It does seem like it's just a wash. Like, you might make as much money doing in a gig economy as it is in terms of what your bills will be if you go to college at this particular stage. I do think people are. But one reason why these colleges are in so much trouble, and then they never did focus in on what was best for the students and to keep the school itself functioning. It was when the money was good and it poured in and they had it, they bucked up their highest range salaries for their top level administrators and executives, and did things like that, like purchase real estate in Manhattan, which again helped to gentrify different areas, or wherever these schools are, gentrify different areas. But when things don't continue to go well, then they're stuck with these behemoths that they've created that don't benefit anybody. And then the first thing that they want to do usually is to continue to raise tuition. And once they've bottomed out with that, or they can no longer get people to match their price point, now they're in a position of sell. So.
And firing the contracted workers, firing staff, firing whatever. So, yeah.
And the organizing effort that graduate students have put forward to try to make sure that their labor is properly compensated. I appreciate the role that that's playing in sort of calling these universities out. You know what I mean? Like y'all are here exploiting your TAs and your graduate students for what, pennies? And the president lives in a $20 million house. Like, what?
That is crazy.
I got a question. I'm wondering, with my son, I'm trying to get through to his mother that this whole college experience. I want him to have the college experience so he can meet other coaches, other people, and not just, that's really the only reason I want him to go to college. He's talking about a degree in fine arts, and I'm like, really? And I gotta pay for your dorm, I gotta pay for college, and I don't even believe in it. And right now I got him doing a 3-month program in IT so he can get a certificate and he can get a job making like 50 G's a year, like easy. But now it's like, I still want him to have a college experience, but I don't want to pay for that bullshit and have him in debt. So it's like, what's the alternative? So
you're going to pay for it and he's going to be in debt?
I mean,
you're going to take the loans out. Yeah. He can't pay for college on his own.
Hell no.
Yeah, DJ.
But is that really paying for it? You know what I'm saying? Is that paying for it? I mean, my mama signed me up for loans. I had to pay for it. Like, she put her name and her credit down, but
who has to pay for dorm?
I did. It's in the payments. It's in the loan payments.
Yeah, I had to pay for all of it through debt.
No, incurred. I'm with your doctor too, though, because I won't call out my family members, but my sister thought she was also just signing papers until somebody decided that it wasn't for them, or they didn't do whatever. And who's paying that? The parents are paying that. So there's a bunch of parents that wind up paying for their kids once that paperwork gets signed, because who they coming from? They coming for the guarantee.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But that requires our signature.
Yes.
Oh, you're not signing?
Oh, you're not signing, baby?
No, I'm just playing. No, I'm playing. We're no, in fact, no. I mean, people. That's why people were asking even about that Freedom Scholar money. That's that. Like I got like 1 or 2 toys, and the rest of it got put in the account for that. Like, because the whole point is we don't want them going into debt. And by the way, it's not even going to be near enough. So like that's the other reality when, you know, for those of us who are fortunate, I'm not trying to say it's not fortunate to get that one-time big check. The problem is it makes you want to start finding ways to get another one. Because you see its limitations. It's real nice for 5 minutes. And then it's like, but if you're trying to do this, that, and a third, it's not enough. So, and when it comes to paying for two kids at 50,000, you know, and then you know a year per student. I mean,
and that's how people turn into Van Jones.
And
JB, you gonna switch up on us? Because you know they just waiting. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just waiting in the wings for Jared.
Listen, you know the only reason I'm here and haven't done it already is because the platform is too full. The sellout ship is already loaded up. Like it's too many motherfuckers on it.
There's always room for more. There's always room for more.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm way down on the pier waving like, yo. And then like the line is long. It's like people fighting for that spot. It's jam packed. And like I told, I never heard from him again. My former homeboy at Morgan, he said when Obama got elected, he quit. He literally quit. And he said, I'm writing my book about how to teach white people how to understand blackness. And I'm gonna. he was being dead ass serious. And I checked to make sure because I said I want to make sure when I'm making fun of you in the future that I have the facts correct. And he said, no, I'm doing. He said, and I told him, I said, my man, that lane is full. Like you got to understand, there's a long line of people. You know, Sharpton is already there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's already there.
That's him first. Well, he got there behind Jesse. Jesse got there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Jesse, like they are already there, and you're just now, and you're gonna quit your job. I was like the one on the plantation. Like you gonna leave the plantation? You need to stay right here.
We doing good.
You gonna get? You eating good? He was like, no, I'm out of here. He said, I'm writing my magnum opus, is what he called it. I'm writing, and I haven't heard from him since. So he got swallowed. He got washed away by the vans and the crumps popped up. Like it's like a long line. You don't even see the pier is packed.
Nah, you gotta do one better, man. You gotta go Trump out this jump. You know what I'm saying? You gotta.
That line is getting full too, Kim. Ice Cube and all of them. It's like I'm trying to get in. They're like, get out of here, motherfucker. I'm already here.
It's like you got to change the title of your book.
All the Floyd Mayweathers, everybody already there. They're like, nah, JB, you missed. You too late.
I think there's still time. I think there's still time. They don't turn them away. You understand? They will find a space.
Kim said they'll find me a spot, huh? Okay.
They will. They'll get you your pair of Air Magas. You know what I'm saying? Your little gold never surrenders. Get you the gold never surrenders.
Oh, he rocking the never surrenders.
Got them Trump Force Ones.
Yes. Listen, another great show, y'all. We made it to the 10 o'clock hour, and you know what time that is.
Come on.
You got away without spinning? Is that what you're saying?
It's 514 people.
We had 550.
Oh, we did. I didn't see that.
We was up there, man. That's a great thing. So let me give y'all a quick something on the way out. And make sure y'all tune in again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. right here on the Remix Morning Show. Sit back down and talk to me about how you want to be. You wanna be with me. Sing it. Yeah, you wanna be with me. Thinking about what people do, talking about how I love you, thinking there's nothing to what they say. You're gonna be with me anyway. They don't want to see the end of the show. So we catch y'all tomorrow right here on the remix. Yeah, and we out of this. Peace.